Hey, thanks for joining us for another Confessions and Convictions today. Bible Bits. You know, sometimes if we were graded by how we view money and how we give to God's work, how would we score? Would we score high? Would we score okay? Would we actually meet the minimum below standard, just barely passing, or would we be failing? Now, that is a true indicator of your heart, how you manage money and how you're a steward, because God gives us everything. However, where is our heart? Where is our ambition? Is it focused on the Lord, or is it focused on more, more, and more? I have no space to put anymore. I got to buy storage space. Or me, me, and me, my family, and then those after me. While that may be, in your mind, good stewardship, is it good current stewardship? Because there's many around you who are hungry and needy and maybe in need of God's blessing, and you have the power to do it. So here's my thoughts for today. The pain of what we consider is our blessing. Oh God, you've blessed me with so much. Bless me with more. Yeah, you've blessed me with so much. I have a nice car. I have a nice wife. I've got nice children. I've got a nice home. I've got good food. I've got a good job. I have comfort. I have a nice sofa. I have a nice big screen TV. I have a nice bed. I have a jacuzzi. I have none of these things, by the way. Yes, I might have access to some of it, but I don't have any of this stuff. I have nice books. I don't read. Who was it the other day that said something pretty interesting? Yeah, it's something like, can't remember where I put that, but I do remember what he said. He said, I think it was Chuck Missler who said this. He says, I have a great library of all these books I could, spend a whole lifetime and still never get to. That's unfortunate, because to whom much is given, much is required, as the Lord has said. But where's the pain in our blessing? Well, I'll tell you where it is. You see, if we desire riches, then we open ourselves up to temptation and distraction. Now, there's nothing wrong in and of themselves, good products, good things, riches. However, when that becomes our focus, and that becomes something we put above God, it becomes an idol, and it focuses on what's truly in our heart. Whether we are selfish. I like that little play on words, unlike Groucho Marx. Fish. What does a fish do? Fish needs another fish. And another bigger fish comes by and eats that fish. And a bigger fish comes by and eats that fish. Dog eat dog world. That's the way it is. And you know what? That fish is never satisfied. So what happens to us? For our somewhat innocent desire, oh God, just a little bit more. If I only had. Well, that fish gets swallowed up. Matthew 6:33 tells us really where our focus ought to be. Because Jesus spoke a lot more about money than pretty much anybody else did in the Bible. And he said, where your treasure is, your heart is also. So if your treasure is in God, that's where your heart is. If your treasure is in things, that's where your heart is. If your treasure is in your sports teams, your fanatical things, your TV shows, whatever it is, you happen to put above God, that's where your heart is. So that's something for us to think about, talk about. Whatever we spend our time and our money on, that shows our scorecard, our report card. Could improve. All right, it's a D minus this semester. Maybe we can pull it up to a C. Maybe, with God's help, we can pull it up to a B or B plus. The Holy Spirit can help you to get an A plus. If your heart's right, you'll do right. If your heart's wrong, you'll do wrong. That's why I say we are justification. We are just as if we never sinned. That'd be nice if we could end the story right there, right? Because of what Jesus did for us, because Adam kind of messed it up, he marred us. But that's not what it's about. It's more or less that we are being sanctified daily and we're dying to ourselves. We go to our cross daily because of what the Lord's done for us. He reminds us we have to die to ourselves, otherwise the old man comes up and the old ugly zombie lives again. And that's disgusting. Putrid. Heinous. See, that's part of the reason we named our channel that way. Wicked. Evil. That's what the heart is, apart from God. And so there's no salvation if our focus, and we drift away like Dobie Gray used to say, give me the beat, boys, free my soul, wanna be lost in the rock and roll and drift away. And that's exactly what a lot of us do. We're lulled into a sleep, a false security in our wealth and we have peace in our things, but we don't live forever. We die and somebody else gets our things. So that's the thought then. Do we invest so you get richer and more greedier and more evil and more distracted? And we don't set our blessing up for our children that way either. Or do we teach our children what's really valuable? Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. Put God first and foremost in your life. And that's where your treasure will be. Well, that's it today, folks. Thanks for hanging with me. And may the Lord bless and keep you. I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, God bless.